Cortez on a winning streak. The Knicks are on a losing streak. Bam drops 83. How you feeling, man?
Man, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to unpack.
What's on your mind?
Let's get the elephant out the room. 83 points.
Crazy, right? A lot of hate on the internet, though. A lot of
Is it
hate.
hate?
My God.
Is it hate? You're an NBA. You're an NBA analyst. You are a ball player, a professional ball player. Is that hate? Did you watch the game first off?
Yes, because I know what dropping 50 is like and how tiring it is. I can't imagine 83, and he made it look easy. And I did see some resistance on the highlights. I did see some resistance.
See no resistance. Listen, that game right there is going to single-handedly kill tanking because it shows what the Washington Wizards have been doing, tanking to the point where they let Bam Adebayo break Kobe's record. That is insane. That is insane. They did not play no defense. It was nothing but 43 free throws or something like that, and it was intentional. Like at the end, when you got to like 60 points and you're up 20 and you're up 30 and you're in the third quarter, I understand that. But then you're chasing the stat, and people have done that before. But the way they did it with the intentional fouling where he missed a free throw and then they intentionally fouled them so they could get the ball back so that they could get him. I don't like that. I don't like unethical. It's not even unethical. It's just not how you play basketball. Like if you get the points in the rhythm of a game, it's one thing. That was not in the flow of a game. That was seeking out intentionally to get fouled to get to the line. It wasn't like he was hitting threes. It wasn't like he was just the first quarter he was on fire, but no, everything was seeking a foul. And in the same day where people talk about SGA and how he's a foul baiter, and they talk about Brunson about how he's a flopper, and then you got Jaylen Brown on the same day in another game getting pushed out of bounds, gets a no call, and then gets ejected from the game. Meanwhile, Bam Adebayo was down there against Washington just doing whatever he wants, and the NBA is allowing it. Nah, I don't jack it at all.
So when Wilt scored his 100, there was some
No cameras.
no cameras, some funny stuff going on. I would say Kobe's was a real 81, right? That's
Yes.
like the difference. But to Bam's credit, I mean, it's just how in shape you have to be to score that many points to me. Like, that is impressive.
I'm not knocking that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like he was just like getting defended and he was just like breaking down defenders and going to the hole. Like
You don't think you
everything
didn't
was.
see on the highlights, you didn't see any resistance at all? You thought they were just
I
letting him
don't think
go?
there was that much resistance. I think the only time there was resistance is when they put him on the line. That was it. They put him on the line, but it was still free throws and they were still down by 20, 30 points. Why is he in the game? He's in the game for one reason and one reason only. Miami's not going anywhere. They don't care about risking Bam Adebayo to get injured for the playoffs. They're not going nowhere. This is the highlight of their season.
Well, it should be. They'll remember this game more than any other regular season game this year.
I just don't think I don't think it was the right way to play basketball. And I'm not hating. If he did it and they was playing defense and it was a close game and he was clutch, that's one thing. This right here was a blowout and this was a freebie game against a team that has clearly been tanking and needs to be investigated like on all levels.
Wait, if you had the chance to break Kobe's record, drop 80 plus points, you wouldn't go for it no matter what the circumstance is? You're going to go sit down?
I don't think so. Not in that situation. I feel like that's lame. Like you cheating. Like it's not like I've really scored 83. I don't think anybody sat there and was like, yo, like they can't stop him. They just was like, yo, he's going for it. Let's get him the
Cortez,
ball.
They can't stop. The Wizards cannot stop him. That was proven last night.
So that means, I think whoever they play, listen, this is a memo for the last 15, 16 games of the season for the Washington Wizards. Everyone should try to go and get their all-star to drop 80-something points on them and prove a point. That Bam Adebayo is not the only one. If I was in the NBA and I had the Wizards up next, I'd be like, you know what? They let him do that? I'm going for 90.
What if Brunson dropped 83 on the Wizards? You'd be saying the same thing right now?
Brunson would have did it with threes, which means it would have been like in the rhythm of a game. Like Bam Adebayo, like he's not a shooter. It was
But
all
he
free throws. That's what I'm saying. Like he was seeking free throws, and they were just going fouling intentional the Wizards so that the clock didn't run. Like they were fouling them intentionally. There's no reason to foul them. They're up 20, 30 points. But they're fouling them intentionally to stop the clock so that they can get the ball back to give him another possession to catch up to Kobe. That's what I got a problem with. If he would have been at 70, 71, but like when it started getting like that, it started making a mockery of the game. And if teams get mad for when we're dribbling out the ball in the last 15 seconds and then someone goes takes a layup, why y'all not mad at what he was doing?
31 in the first quarter.
That was
Impressive,
fire.
right?
That you gotta give respect to that.
Yeah. So you
But
just
after
didn't
that,
like
the
the fourth.
game
You just
after that, after the third quarter, you should have
yeah.
just I'm
I think
chilling.
he had 60 and 3, 60 plus and 3, right? Yeah.
He could have got to 70. He could have said, "Yo, let me get 70, and then I'm gonna sit down."
He
That
wanted
could
to
have
break
been cool.
he
But it
wanted
was
to
just
break
the
the
way they
modern
did it, like
NBA record.
forcing the fouls.
Cortez, he broke the modern NBA record for most points scored in a game.
Bam Adebayo. Was he in the All-Star game this year?
I don't think so.
Exactly. The NBA is doomed.
Well, I'll tell you why the NBA is not doomed. Because when I was a kid, I used to play 2K, right? And we used to create a player. They'd be like 7'7". They could handle. They could shoot. They could change everything defensively. And I feel
And now
like
they
we're
have
really,
one.
I feel like we're really in the future. We are in the future watching this guy Wemby play.
I think he's amazing. I think what he's doing with the Spurs this year is super, super duper duper dope. You know, they don't have one game of playoff experience. So I'm really, really curious to see how they handle that pressure with a 4-3 matchup. You know, I want to see how they handle the strategic. Their coach is going to come into play also, you know, especially when you're in a 7-game series. It's like, you know, you do adjustments game to game, game to game. So, you know, I really want to see where they excel at and how far they could go like this. I do think they have a shot at getting to the finals. I do think that.
They beat OKC 3 times this
So,
season.
you know, you can't sleep on them, but, you know, experience goes a long way when it comes to the playoffs. We all know this. So, you know, I'm just curious to see if they defy the odds or not.
Do you feel like that changed a little bit with OKC winning it all with such a young team that maybe the modern NBA is a little bit different when it comes to the
No,
experience
because
thing?
OKC lost in a 7-game series the year before to Dallas. They went through some heartbreak. They went through some heartbreak, and they lost that game on
Some
like
it's
a
not
three.
it's not like
They
back it's
lost
not
that
like
game. They lost that game by like a real heartbreak. Like wasn't SGA crying at the press conference? Like,
yeah.
yo, like I want it so bad. Like we was right there. What was it? Kyrie? Kyrie hit the three or something, and just it like crushed them. They went through some heartbreak. Everybody goes through heartbreak. Shaq was getting swept out the fucking finals and out the playoffs for 4 or 5 years before he got over the hump. And this is Shaquille O'Neal. So if Wemby doesn't go through those heartaches and hardships and he gets a ring, then the NBA.
Maybe it's a reach, but he did have some heartbreak in Paris. He was
No,
crying. He
no,
lost to
no,
the
no,
USA's
no.
best.
It's not the same.
Cortez, when you have the chip on your shoulder, you have the chip on your shoulder. We
It's
can
not the
find
same
ways.
because
We can find.
it's not the same because he wasn't in the playoffs yet. It's now when he touches the playoffs. Once that shit says NBA playoffs on the court, it's a whole different.
Yeah. What's up with your Knicks, man?
I think people are like some of the people reasoning for the Knicks are good, but then I also think there's certain things that are overrated. We have the same record as we did last year. I think we show so many highlights and then we have so many lowlights that it's like it makes it a topic of just good conversation and debate because the Knicks
Yeah.
are relevant. Last year, I think we stayed consistent, so it wasn't like in the news cycle the way it is. But when you go to Denver and you beat them by 40 something points, and then you go play the Lakers without LeBron and you lose, it doesn't add up. You know, when Mikal Bridges has 0 points, that does not make sense. You understand? Like it doesn't make sense. But at the same time, the Knicks are in a routine where they don't do back to backs with Mitchell Robinson. So they had Mitchell play for the Denver game. He didn't play for the LA game. I'm gonna be honest with you. Mitchell Robinson is a huge, huge part of our success. In a lot of games, against the top competition, when he plays, we win. A lot of times when he's off the court, we lose to teams we shouldn't lose to. His offensive rebounding, his presence, the fact that he can back up Cat and hold it down when Cat is either in foul trouble or whatever, it like really keeps us locked in. When we don't have him to rely on, I think it really throws the Knicks rotation off. And it's like the playmaking is just all the way off. Even though Mitch is not like the guy, it's something about his stability, his rebounding, his effort, his push, and the fact that he is a lob threat. It keeps teams honest with us, where somebody will get rolling, whether it's an OG Anunoby or Brunson or even McCall or Josh Hart, where it's like, we can't crash the boards, but we have to crash the boards, and then it just opens up things for the Knicks. So I think people are really underestimating the value of Mitchell Robinson and the fact that we don't use him on back to backs, and we've had a lot of back to backs without him. OKC, we didn't have him. The Lakers game, we didn't have him, and let's not forget Miles McBride has not played in almost 2 months, and I think he's huge for our bench. He's a 3-point threat. You know, a lot of the games the Knicks have had, we weren't we had bad shooting nights. And he's one of our best shooters. He was actually the best shooter on our team this year, right? He was in top 5% in 3-point percentage. So,
Yeah, he
you know,
was.
Miles McBride is a huge gap that we're missing, and the back-to-backs without Mitchell. I think once our whole team is together and we're playing every day together in the playoffs, I think this is the team that we're going to know how good they really are. And we're going to just have to wait to the playoffs.
I agree with you with Mitchell Robinson. He's like what Steven Adams is to the Rockets, and now the Rockets don't have Steven Adams. The only thing with Mitch is he can't make a free throw. So can you
You
have
can't.
him
Yeah.
at the end of games? It makes things rough, you know?
No, it does. It does. But his his rebounding in general, but his offensive rebounding, getting us those second chance points, I think that is huge for us, and it's been huge for us for the last 3 years with him. When he dominated the Cleveland series 2, 3 years ago, you know, when he gave Embiid all types of trouble in the first round when Embiid injured him, you know, and then last year the same thing. Like he's very integral to us. You know, I think he's a very important piece to our system and how we play. And when he's not on the court, it like breaks down other things and it allows teams to double and switch and leave Josh Hart open and not worry about the boards as much. And it just, everything else just like domino effect is the cookie crumbles from there.
When you were watching that Lakers game and you were watching Luka go to work after seeing the whole internet going at him saying he's falling off, he's not the same player, he plays no defense, and then watching him respond like that, what were your thoughts? Because I feel like, yeah, you should have takes and you could criticize players, but when you're just making the same take as everybody else at the same time, it gets boring to me, man. I think Luka proved everybody wrong.
I think Luka is not only just a generational talent, but he's clearly one of the best players in the NBA right now, and he will be for a while. You know, anybody that's just talking and they're saying that he fell off, they're just talking to talk. You understand? The
100%.
Lakers are not the threat that they should be, or that what people thought they would be coming into this season. And they're gonna have to do some retooling and some restructuring and all that. But you know what? It's gonna be centered around Luka Dončić at the end of the day. So, you
Yeah.
know, he's gonna do what he does. And when you put a team around him, he has success, and it's happened. You've seen it. He took a team to the finals just 2 years ago. Just two
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah. My thing is, Luka Doncic, most talented player, Jokic, the best player, and Cade Cunningham, the MVP.
No. Cade is not going to
I don't
win
know.
MVP.
You know what? The Pistons fell off lately, so that was my
They
take about
lost
a
four
week
in a
ago.
row.
Jaylen Brown might be there. He got ejected yesterday, and then SGA
I
hit that
know.
big shot. So I might have to update. Like SGA's looking,
And she looking like he's securing the bag again.
yeah, he is lately. Cade had it for a second. Jaylen Brown too, man. Jaylen Brown too, but
Jaylen
yeah, it
Brown
looked like
surprised me,
SGA.
man. I didn't think he had it in him to keep Boston afloat. And I do think Boston is somebody you really got to pay attention to since Tatum's back now. But you got to
Yeah,
give real kudos to Jaylen Brown for holding it down and just
Tatum's
really
looking good
just
too.
keeping Boston like, not only
Yeah.
afloat, but keeping Boston very relevant and very in the hunt for coming out the East.